Hi everybody, it's the Ninth Wave, and today I'm going to show you how to make a food recolor in The Sims 2, specifically a cereal. So you're going to need SimPE, and you're going to need an image editor program. I use GIMP, and I use an older version of GIMP. I use GIMP 2.6. You might use the newer version. The controls might be a little bit different for you, and what I'm talking about in the newest version of GIMP are some of the newer versions. Anyway, you're going to want to download from Google Images. We're going to do Fruity Pebbles. So I already have my Fruity Pebbles here, the texture of the actual cereal and the texture of the box that I'm going to use. And I got that from Google Images, just Googled Fruity Pebbles, and that's what came up. So if you're making food, you want to use Google Images to get your images for your food. It helps out a lot to make it. It's a lot easier than just making it yourself, especially if you want to do something like Fruity Pebbles. Now, Fruity Pebbles has probably already been done by somebody, so I wouldn't recommend uploading Fruity Pebbles, but you can probably pick some other cereals that haven't been done yet. Alright, so go ahead and open SimPE, and go to where it says Object Workshop at the bottom, and press Start, and wait for it to load. Now, yours might take a while to load, but mine is already loaded up. Anyway, go to Unknown and go down until you see Cereal. You might have to go down a little bit. And here we have Cereal. So we're going to select that and select Next. And in the clone screen, you can check this orange. Over here it says Set Defaults in orange. You can check that to make sure the defaults are selected. And press Start or Next. And you can name this Fruity Pebbles. Don't give it a price, because food doesn't really have a price per se in the game. And you can give it a description, but if it's already blank, I just usually leave it blank. So press Finish. And then erase Null Model. Erase everything before the hyphen in the model name. And name it FPC. And I'll put my initials in there, T and W. You can put anything in there to make it unique. Make sure that name is short, though. That's why I like to abbreviate like that, to keep that name short. It helps out with a lot. Okay, and press Update and OK. Now here's where you save it to your game. Save it to Documents, EA Games, The Sims 2, Downloads, and just save it as Fruity Pebbles, or whatever name you want to give it. Make sure that name is not like any other name that anybody else would give something, so Fruity Pebbles wouldn't be a good idea. But if you're making your cereal, you can name it any kind of name you want, but just make sure that it's kind of unique. And press Save. And that saves it to your game. Right now it's just a clone of the Maxis cereal, because we haven't applied the textures and done everything. So it's just a clone of the Maxis cereal in your game, but it's in your game right now. Alright, go to your texture image and click on the first one where it says Ingredients. And here is where you have your boxes of cereal that you can change the way it looks to match what you're making. So right click on it and say export, and export it to your pictures folder or wherever you want. Alright, now double click on it, open it in GIMP. You might have to set it to open in GIMP if it's a certain picture file, but you have to set it to open for whatever image editor program you have. Alright, so we have our Maxis serial here, so open again your Fruity Pebbles box in GIMP. Okay, and we see we need to make some changes to this right away because the top of the box has this squared off little portion that we can get rid of. So go to your toolbox in GIMP and go to your eyedrop tool and eyedrop the color right before the top of the other parts of the box, and select your rectangular select, the very top left hand, and select just the top where it goes into the top of the box, and go to your bucket fill tool, and under bucket fill you're going to want to make sure that fill hole selection is selected under affected area. So go to fill hole selection and just change that to red. Okay, so now we're going to go into our Sims 2 texture in GIMP, and we're going to see what the size of this box is. So rectangular select it very carefully, and we see this 128 by 128, and this box underneath it is probably the same, so we're going to use the same front and back of the box. So go to your scale tool in your toolbox and scale and type in 128 and 128 per scale. Now I'm hoping this will do like I want to, but sometimes it doesn't. When you go to image at the top and press auto crop, looks like it worked. Okay, it gives me a 128 by 128 texture. So we might want to sharpen it up a little bit. So go to filters, enhance, sharpen, and sharpen it just a little bit, not too extreme, but maybe like to 20 or so, and close that out, save it, press export, and bring the quality up to 100. Now I'm hoping GIMP doesn't crash. Sometimes it does when you open layers, but I'm hoping it doesn't do that this time. So go to File, Open as Layers, and open your Fruity Pebbles box that you edited. And thank God it didn't crash GIMP when I did that. So you can move it with the Move tool right here. The Move tool is 4 arrows. And then you can go on your keyboard and press the sideways and up and down arrows to move it to exactly where you want it. It's more precise when you move it that way than moving it with your mouse. And then go to File, Open as Layers, and open the other Fruity Pebbles and drag it down with the Move tool, and then you can change it to how you want it to look. Okay, now open your Fruity Pebbles texture. And it's safe to assume that the Fruity Pebbles texture is also 128 by 128 because it looks about the same size as the Fruity Pebbles box. It's taking a little while for it to open. So we can now scale this to 128 by 128 scale, image, auto crop, and I guess we don't have to sharpen this one because it could stay blurry for like milk and stuff that goes over the cereal. So save that, export, and bring the quality up to 100. And then go to, you can bring out the edges of GIMP a little bit. And go to File, Open as Layers, and open your Fruity Pebbles texture. And drag it to the cereal, the Max's cereal. And move your arrow keys to put it in position. So now our texture is all ready. We don't need to change the raspberries because, you know, you can put raspberries in Fruity Pebbles, I guess. But if you wanted to change it, you could. And if you wanted to change the milk carton, you could. Or the cutting board, you could. But we're not doing that. So close it and save it. Export. Then go to SimPE and right click on your texture and go to Build DXT, and under Format make sure DXT3 format is selected. Under Sharpen make sure None is selected. We don't need to change the level spots because we're using the same size texture as this Max's texture. If you were using a bigger texture, you would change this levels to 12 or 13 if your texture is really huge. But you shouldn't be using huge textures anyway. But most of the time you would change it to 12 up in the levels box. So open, and open your cereal, and click Build. And there you have your textures already for the Fruity Pebbles. And press Commit. Okay. Now go to the Food Utensils cereal. That's the cereal when it's actually in the Sims bowl. In the ingredients, it's just in the bowl that they're making the cereal with. But in the Sims bowl where they sit down to eat, this is what you see. So go open your Fruity Pebbles texture. Okay, yeah, we already saved it, so we don't have to open it. Okay, right click on your cereal and go to Build DXT and make sure Sharpen is None. Like I said, we don't need to change this because it's the same size. And open your Fruity Pebbles. And there you have Fruity Pebbles, the single serving or multiple serving dish. Okay, now go to your text list in the resource tree, and then again in the resource list, text list again, and where it says Have Dinner Cereal, erase cereal and put Fruity Pebbles. Have lunch, erase have cereal and put Fruity Pebbles. Have breakfast, erase cereal and put Fruity Pebbles. And just erase the cereal for all of these and exchange it for Fruity Pebbles. or whatever the name of your cereal is that you're making, or whatever food you're making. And then you want to change the get cereal to get Fruity Pebbles. Get ... dash Fruity Pebbles. You change all the cereal names in here to Fruity Pebbles or whatever you're working with. Wait, that's just Pebbles. It's supposed to be Fruity Pebbles. Now you don't have to change resume cooking, but you have to change resume cooking ... cereal to Fruity Pebbles. I know they don't cook cereal, but it's in there, so it must mean something. Okay, now you press default language only, default lang only. And what that does, because SimPE automatically puts everything in American English, if you press default language only, it will work all that stuff you wrote will work in English UK games as well. But the downside to that is that it shows up resume cooking and get and serve dinner and all that in all the languages. So you have to tell people it's only for English and English UK. It's not for all the languages, because it would stay the same as Maxis in their games. I hate this. That's why you have to make sure that you let people know that if you're changing the language to default language only. Alright, so press default language only and commit. Okay, now go to the object data and click on the food cereal, and in the file name rename cereal to Fruity Pebbles. And erase these last two numbers and give it something unique, but something that you've never used before in a food. So for me that would be something like 86, and press update. And in food cereal menu, since it's the same GID as the factory food cereal, we erase the last two numbers and make it 87, and press, change the cereal to Fruity Pebbles. And press update. Okay, so now we need to remember GID menu, that's how it appears in the behave, so we're going to change in just a minute. GID menu is 87 and factory food is 86. Okay, so remember that. GID menu 87, factory food 86. So go to your behaves and go to where it says GID menu, and where it says 5, erase that and put in 87 and press commit. And now where you see CT factory food, go to that, and where it says 04, press 86, I think it's 86 for factory food, and press commit. Let's be sure I got that right. Let's go back. 86, yeah. Factory food is 86. In menu is 87. So you go to File and Save, and you just made a food recolor cereal, Fruity Pebbles, for The Sims 2. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.